Welcome and thank you for attending the State Electrical Board's stakeholder meeting today via webinar. The date is August 3rd, 2023, and the time is 9:31 a.m. Before we get started, we would like to introduce the staff members from the Division of Professions and Occupations that are present. My name is Darcy Magnuson, and I'm a regulatory analyst with the division. Also attending is Joyce Young, Program Director, and Maria Hernandez, Regulatory Coordinator. The division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual, and we appreciate your flexibility. As many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before, we would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business, so your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the board as it considers adopting revisions to the rules. More specifically, today we will be discussing proposed permanent changes to the State Electrical Board's Rule 1.5 to implement Colorado House Bill 23-1233 and to incorporate by reference the Model Electric Ready and Solar Ready Code. These proposed changes were adopted by the board on an emergency basis at its last meeting. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the board's website by the close of business tomorrow. As this stakeholder meeting is held solely by webinar, please raise your hand using the hand icon if you would like to speak, and we will unmute your line so you'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the questions section and we will read it aloud. Before we start taking comments, we ask that anyone providing comments please state your name and the name of the organization that you represent, if any. Feel free to provide either general comments on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 to 5 minutes and try not to repeat something that was already said. Stating you're in full agreement with someone else works just fine and will be noted. If you are using audio through your computer, please remember to put any phones on vibrate. And whether you are using computer or phone audio, try to keep background noises to a minimum when speaking. So at this point in time, we will ask for stakeholder feedback. Let me just adjust the screen so hopefully you can see the draft changes. So if you would like to provide feedback, you can raise your hand and we will unmute your line, or you can use the Q&A feature of the webinar. I show Stan Serbo. Your hand is raised. I have unmuted you. And it may have been for the sound check, but Stan Serbo, you are unmuted if you wanted to speak.
Yes, it was for the sound check. That was all.
Great. Thank you. And while we're waiting to see if anyone wants to provide comments regarding the proposed addition to the Rule 1.5 incorporation by reference to implement House Bill 22-1233, and I'll repeat this at the end as well, but all information regarding rulemaking can be found on the board's website under the Public Notices tab. And that includes the draft rules, the recording from today's meeting, any written comments that we receive, and of course the webinar information for future meetings or rulemaking hearings. So we'll go ahead and pause here for a couple minutes to see if we have any either written comments through the Q&A or any raised hands. And if we don't, then we will wrap up. Okay, it looks like we had someone just join. We're just waiting to see if anyone has any comments regarding the proposed addition to Rule 1.5 incorporation by reference to implement House Bill 23-1233. And we don't have any raised hands, and we haven't received any comments through the Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and discuss next steps. And I'll continue to monitor to see if anyone raises a hand. Thank you for participating in today's meeting. All comments and program recommendations will be provided to the board for review prior to the permanent rulemaking hearing, which is scheduled for September 27th, 2023. All information regarding rulemaking can be found on the board's website under the Public Notices tab. This includes the draft rules, the written comments, the webinar registration information, and recorded webinars. Please continue to submit written comments if you would like to the rulemaking inbox, which is Dora_DPO_rulemaking@state.co.us. That email address can be found on all of the notices that we send out. And that does conclude the stakeholder meeting for today, and we thank you again for your participation.